Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah. I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard.
I'm here with Stephanie Gutierrez. She is the queen when it comes to ADUs. So what is an ADU and why should you consider building one? That's the question. We're here in Long Beach, California, touring this ADU right behind me. It's the first time that I've been in one. Really excited to see what Stephanie says. Let's take a look.
My name's Stephanie. I'm an ADU specialist. I'm also a realtor. I've been doing this for over 10 years, but niching down in ADUs for the last 4. It's a lot of work, but I have a team, you know,
Oh, that's
so
good,
like
that's good.
I just have a pretty solid group of people around me that help me.
Okay, so let's talk ADUs. For like a rookie and a newbie like me, why should we consider building an ADU?
Well, that's a good question. It's a loaded one too.
Yes.
As here in California, it's become so unaffordable, you're right, to buy property or try to cash flow, whether
Right.
you're a first-time investor or a first-time home buyer. As a first-time home buyer, how do you offset your mortgage? As
Yes.
a first-time investor, how do you cash flow?
Right.
I would say the only way is to add more doors and generate more cash flow. That's really the only way to make things make sense in this type of markets. I would say look at that option and underwrite it with all your deals. Don't overlook it.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a process. You know, you have to make sure that you have financing for it. That's been a hurdle in the ADU world. But we have a pretty good network of lenders who can structure the deal the right way. We can help you with the build out as well. And I would say ADUs is sort of like the hack or the strategy that you kind of have to implement in this type of market.
So let's say I do purchase a home and build an ADU. How can someone build wealth through building ADUs?
Well, one, you're adding more doors to your portfolio.
Okay.
So that's an easy one, right? Where you're creating forced appreciation. If you're renting them out, you're also collecting the depreciation. So forced appreciation, depreciation, cash flow. You're also creating wealth by, there's different exit strategies, right? Like why you're doing it is a very important piece. So I would say just the fact that you can add more doors to it.
Okay.
It's really that simple.
So who's the ideal tenant here that we're gonna rent to?
So for this one here, I really like this one because it's right across the street from Cal State Long Beach.
Right.
The junior ADU is going to be midterm rentals, so
Okay.
we're gearing towards travel nurses or college students. The back unit, we're going to do long-term rentals. So,
Okay.
but really you can cater, I would say, in this type of neighborhood, right? We're in Long Beach, by Cal State Long Beach. I would say travel nurses or college students.
3 amazing units here, right? The owner is planning to do long-term rental, midterm rental, and have you noticed any drama between mixing the 2 types of tenants?
Well, we'll find out on this one, right? Because that's exactly his concern. The owner wasn't sure if he should just do all 3 doors long-term rental. With midterm rental, it's not much friction. I would say with short-term rental, just a different type of avatar or client that you're bringing onto a neighborhood like
Right.
this, where there probably could be some friction. I would say midterm rental, not so much. I
Okay.
mean, we've had a few other projects in Lakewood that's being rented out to travel nurses.
Okay.
No issues there. I mean,
None.
we have, as far as midterm rental, travel nurses, not so much.
Can you do short-term rental in an ADU here in Southern California?
Technically, I would say no, right? Especially like here in Long Beach, it has to be 30 days or more. And in many cases here in LA County, Orange County. And with ADUs, it's such a great line that I would say I would always advise my clients to look more towards a midterm rental model or
Okay.
long-term rental, especially with short-term rentals and ordinances and
Right.
so many changes coming about.
I see stuff that's prefab like on Amazon versus like ground
Stick
up
build.
stick development. Is it a bad idea to buy one of those like $10,000 bills that you see on Amazon or Home Depot?
Honestly, I'm towards any type of affordable housing. So it really just depends on your exit strategy and why you're building it. Going
Okay.
back to the other question, right? So if it's a short-term cash flow play, then maybe a prefab may work. If you don't have the budget for a stick build, then maybe that may work temporarily. But if I had to choose between prefab and stick build, I will always opt for stick build because you are taking that forced appreciation to another level. An appraiser and someone who is actually going to come and evaluate the property after the build out will take that into consideration. Some of these prefabs are not going to be
Right.
zero value. You'll get the cash flow. So short-term fix,
Right.
like putting a band-aid
Right.
on the house, that would work. But long-term, if you're really looking to create that forced appreciation, that wealth, I would definitely opt for stick build. It does take a little bit longer, but it's thinking like an investor, it's long-term, right? Everything is long-term. So yeah.
Right. Let's talk about the question that most people have. how much does it typically cost to build one of these? Right here, we're doing stick build, right?
Right. So I would say like the junior ADU, which is about 300 square feet, you're looking at somewhere, and anything under 400 square feet, you're looking at somewhere between 125 to 145. And what really is going to dictate is like the access for utilities, how much trenching needs to get done.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say 125 to 145 for anything under 400. 400 to 600, you're probably looking at 175 to 225. And then, you know, you can build an ADU up to 1200. You're probably looking at 300 to 350,000 for the bigger unit.
So $125,000 to
roughly
convert this, and then 100. What is it? 145? You said?
Yeah, roughly around that. I mean, they did go a little bit extra on the finishes with this one, and they went, you know, a little bit bigger with the bathroom.
Right.
For the most part, if you go with standard finishes, 125 to 145 for something like this.
What does the timeline look like?
Yeah, timelines, I would say 8 to 12 months.
Okay.
It all depends on the city, right, and how long it takes to get the permitting process going.
Okay.
The construction phase typically is 6 to 8 months, but permitting takes about 3 to 5 months depending on where you're at. Here in Long Beach, it's very ADU friendly. So I think this took about 4 to 5 months to get the permits, and then about another 6 to 7 months for the construction. So in total, both units took about 12 months.
So that's another question I have, because I'm in the short-term rental space, and we always talk about regulations and cities shutting us down.
Right.
But with ADUs, it seems like cities like promote it, right?
Oh yeah, they keep updating legislation, they keep modifying it because they need to make it much more affordable. The city process needs to do a better job as well. But I think, you know, after 2017, cities have slowly just been able to accommodate to the need and the demand, right? Like in 2017, there were only about 400 ADU applications. Between 2018 and 2020, there were over 23,000.
Oh my gosh. Like exponentially more, right?
Yeah, ridiculously more. So the cities have to adjust and they have to adapt. Financing is another issue that we've been seeing because there isn't an ADU financing product available.
Right.
But that's also something that I see changing very quickly.
Okay, so here in Southern California, are there any cities to stay away from?
Yeah, Huntington Beach was
Huntington
one.
Beach? Talking to you, Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach recently tried to sue the state.
Really?
So you have your state law, which says you can build up to 1,200 square feet. In most cases, you can do a junior ADU and an ADU. Huntington Beach and a lot of like coastal areas, I would say that's another big one. Like stay away from coastal because if you have to go through coastal commission, the timeframes I talked about, you can add another 6 to 7 months to that.
Oh wow.
Right, because you're going through coastal.
Yeah, so, forget that. So nothing coastal.
Yes, so nothing coastal. I know like Laguna Beach made an update with their ordinance and coastal, and they're trying to get better. So you're right. Like as far as STR, there's a lot of gray area and a lot of banning of STRs. With ADUs, it's the total opposite. A lot of cities are actually trying to see how they can embrace it and just make it a much more streamlined process for everyone.
So we're in Long Beach right now. To build an ADU, I mean, do you have to be in like a commercially zoned area, or are there any other rules that people have to look for?
No, actually, it's very feasible in both residential and multifamily. In residential, pretty much anybody can build an ADU, and in multifamily, we offer feasibility inspections, so we can tell you what you can and can't build. But in multifamily, there's a 25% ADU density rule. So what that means is you can build or convert 25% of the existing structure. So in multifamily, you can 10x the ADU strategy like they did here.
Here we go. Here, let's get out of your way. This is good B-roll. B-roll. Okay, so let's talk about this house here. How many ADUs can you put on a lot?
So with legislation being updated last year, before it used to be like one ADU for the most part. Now you can build a junior ADU and an ADU, which is what they did here, right? So originally this was a 4-bed, 2-bath, mid-century modern, right across from Cal State Long Beach. What they did was they converted the 4th bedroom and they added 200 square feet to that 4th bedroom and converted that into a junior ADU. A junior ADU is anything under 500 square feet. So they did that. Now this home is a 3-2, 1-1, and the detached garage is also a 1-1. Sorry, the junior is a studio. The back unit is a 1-1. So they went from 1 doors to 3. And when I'm talking to my investor, I would just have that ADU lens when you're looking at properties. Look for corner lots that have a detached garage, because most likely you can build or convert that garage and then also build another one and
Right.
turn that SFR into a triplex.
Another question is, let's say an investor is looking out there to buy a house to build an ADU. What is the ideal house to look for?
A corner lot with a detached garage, lowest barrier of entry. I think 60 or 70% of the ADUs here in Southern California are garage conversions.
Okay.
It's also important to know your market, right? I have a friend in Portland who does a lot of basement conversions. That's very popular out there. So understanding what's popular in your market, you'll sort of gauge what would be the ideal home that is like ADU ready, if you will, right? So corner lot with alley access, because trenching can cost a lot of money and people don't put thought into that. So anything that has quick utility access is always good. And just being able to vision it like with separate entrances, being mindful of parking, even though you don't have to provide parking when you're building an ADU. I always tell my clients to just be mindful of it, right? Like what does the neighborhood look like? Is there going to be enough parking? Because we're already taking space with the garage, right? Don't look at homes that have a septic, because now you need septic certification. Coastal, like we talked about, solar. So for new ground up, you're going to need solar. Yeah, things like that. Like I have a list of things to consider.
All right, I'm Cameron with ADU West Coast. Here we have 2 ADUs on one lot actually. The front house was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath before, and if you come this way, this is the junior ADU. As you can see here, this room was actually a part of the front house where there was a door here that led to the hallway. So we took away one of the bedrooms from the front house to make this an ADU studio. You can see we're installing some appliances right now, but this is a 350 square feet studio. Once we pass final inspection, we'll be able to rent this out. And then I'll let you get some shots of the bathroom here real quick. Kind of dark, but the lights don't work. We don't have our electrical on yet, so we're just waiting for the meters to be installed. You can see that this bathroom and both of these units are ADA accessible. So there's gonna be wheelchair access for both units. And then out this way, each unit is always going to have its own tankless water heater as well as its own mini split. We don't choose where that goes, the inspector does, which is why you see it in the front. And then each unit's going to have its own meter. You don't have to essentially, but since this is a rental, it's going to have its own electrical, water, and gas meter. This unit is a little bit bigger, it's 450 square feet. This was an existing garage before, so we converted the existing garage. Again, you can see here we're just finishing up some finishing items. Here is the bedroom to the right. So you got your 1 bedroom with your closet in here. This is 450, the other one is 300 square feet, so this one's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit smaller than your standard. I'd have to look at the plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, like 12 by 12 maybe? Or?
It might even be like a 10 by 10.
10 by 10.
Yeah. And then this way, and then this way we got our bathroom here. We got your stackable washer and dryer in here. Again, ADA access for the sink, as well as the shower, which flushes into the shower floor. It's gonna be a great unit once done. And this unit, the other unit they're going to use for midterm rental, and this will be more of a long-term tenant.
Okay, we're here in Long Beach with 3 units. How much money can this generate?
So I know the front unit is renting out for $3,400. This junior ADU about $2,200, and same for this one. Correct. So in total,
yeah. So I'd say a property like this in this particular area, right across the street from a major university in Southern California, would probably generate $7,500 a month altogether.
Okay, I'm here with another ADU expert here. Ernesto, so what are some of the costly mistakes that come with building an ADU?
I'd say not calculating for how far you have to trench. That can obviously add up quickly. Doing the feasibility before the actual build out is important, just so that we have an idea of how much you're going to spend, how much trenching, how much, just overall getting an idea of how much it's going to be. So that can cost if you don't do that.
You can go like way over budget, right?
Exactly.
Like everything else.
Exactly, right.
Okay. Can someone do this on their own?
As an owner build, yes. However,
Home Depot and everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you choose to go that route, yes, you could. However, you do have to have 1, managerial background, and 2, you have to know what you're doing construction-wise. Otherwise, it will be a costly mistake if you choose to do owner build compared to just going with the general contractor.
Because I see some of these companies that are like an all-in-one company. I mean, would you recommend doing that or contracting everything yourself? How did you do it?
I've completed 2 ADUs myself. However, I did an owner build. I will tell you that it took a lot of time and a lot of resources. Exactly, a lot of headaches. So if you're trying to avoid and looking to be hands-off when it comes down to the build portion, I would recommend just going with the general contract, even if you're going to be paying a premium for it.
Out there's a bunch of newbies watching this. Who should not undertake one of these projects?
If you're not good with managing people, managing subcontractors, you should definitely not get yourself involved in this. Or if you don't have any managerial skills, it's definitely not a game for somebody that does not have those skills to do this on their own.
Okay, so I hear that there's grants out there where California was giving up to $40,000. Can people still apply for those things?
Yeah, I think currently you can still apply for those kind of grants. However, they have been absorbed. There's a high demand of ADU builders in the state of California.
Okay.
So I believe the amount of money that was allotted for that has been absorbed already. However, they are taking applications. However, you're going to be on the waiting list for quite some time before you get accepted.
What are some common mistakes people make when they're trying to build an ADU?
Once again, going back to the budgeting portion, not allotting and not knowing exactly what build out you want to use. The simpler you go with the design portion, the most cost effective that your project will be. So if you go and build a luxurious finish-wise, luxurious ADU or multiple bump outs, multiple 90 degrees within the unit, it will add up and it will cost you. So I'd say that's one of the biggest mistakes, like not having a clear design of what it is that you want to do.
Okay, so this is a hot button topic. A lot of Californians invest out of state. What do you guys think? Do you think it's still profitable to invest here in a blue state in California?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Here in Southern California, everything being so expensive, you don't just go find a deal. You have to make a deal, and the way to do that is the ADU strategy and just adding value to it, creating that cash flow overall.
Okay, so we have this crazy homeless issue going on right now. Do you think that building these ADUs help?
Yes and no. I'm going to be quite honest here. I think a lot of people gear towards it being solving the homelessness issue. I think they're two separate issues. I think it solves more of the affordability issue and housing, but the homelessness is two separate things. So no.
Stephanie, give us 3 people to follow on Instagram if they're wanting to do more research on ADUs.
Number 1, I'd say ADU West Coast. Number 2, ADU Experts. And number 3, my good friend Joseph at Neo Builders.
Ernesto, where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you're looking to get a hold of me and learn a little bit more about doing an owner build or hiring a contractor, my Instagram handle is Aguilar_714. My name is Ernesto Aguilar, so feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help and answer any questions.
Stephanie, where can people get a hold of you?
Step Sells Homes.